You're listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology for grounding your ass from all the New Age sass. I am your host, Jeff Hinshaw. Season 6 of Cosmic Cousins is a bi-monthly astrology offering released every new and full moon. And it's dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. Hey, Cosmic Cousins! Good morning. I woke up really early this morning to record this Aquarius Full Moon episode for you. I set my alarm clock for 6 a.m., but I woke up around 5, and I think it's probably because this is right when the full moon in Aquarius was activated. So if you're listening to this live, today is August 15th, 2019, and the full moon is this morning. But whenever you're listening to this episode, it's perfect because this is an exploration of the Leo and Aquarius polarity that we're working with here. And so I woke up early, and the full moon is fully activated. I also think that I probably woke up early because my body is still on the East Coast. I was on the Outer Banks of North Carolina this past week, where I spent a much-needed and very Leo season week on vacation there at the beach. And so if you don't know the Outer Banks of North Carolina, it is barrier islands. It is a chain of islands off of the East Coast. And so it's very near and dear to my heart. It's where I spent a lot of time growing up. During the summers, I would spend vacation there. And so I hadn't been there in about 15 years. So it was nice to reconnect to the land there. It's also the heart of colonial America. It's where the first settlers landed here in the United States. And so it's also quite a loaded energy for me now as an adult to go back and revisit. And so the reason I'm mentioning this is because I think this is related to Leo. The Sun card is one of the cards for Leo. And here on the season 6 of this podcast, what we're doing is, one, we're following the rhythms of the moon. So episode is released every new and full moon. But we're also deepening our connection to tarot and how you can use it in tandem with your astrology practice. So we can start there. If you'd like, you can go ahead and get your tarot cards out that are connected to Leo and Aquarius. So the cards that I use for Leo, the Sun card, right? The Sun is the ruling planet for Leo. We also have the Strength card, which is what I like to call the soul growth card for Leo. And then we have the King of Wands, which is the court card that I use for Leo, which is fixed fire. Kings being fixed, wands being fire. And so then Aquarius, we have this full moon. We get to take out the Fool. This is Aquarius's ruling planet, which is Uranus. We have the Star card, which is the soul growth card for Aquarius. And then the King of Swords, which is fixed air, king, fixed, swords, air. And then I'd like for you to also, if you're working with the cards, get the Empress out too. Because Sun is conjunct Venus today in Leo, and Empress is Venus. So we have this beautiful Venus star point action happening here on this Aquarius full moon. So we'll get the Empress out too. She'll get to hang out with these other cards. And so go ahead and spread those out. And what that does, if you're working with these cards, it allows you to have a visual of the energy. And so that's really helpful for me. And yeah, so anyway, what I was saying is I was there at the Outer Banks, and I had this moment of revisiting something from my childhood. It hadn't been 15 years since I'd been there. The first part of the week I spent with my family, and then the second part of the week I was there with Lindsay Mack, who many of you know, who is the host of Tarot for the Wild Soul. And a really beautiful revelation came to us while we were there. So where I was staying with Lindsay Mack was at a house that she went every summer as a child as well. And it turned out that the house that she stayed at was right next door to the condominium complex that I stayed at. So we literally, as children, were going to the exact same location at the ocean, at the beach in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And we would sometimes go during the same week, we discovered. And this is kind of crazy because me and Lindsay have worked side by side so much in our life. And so what it did for me is it really allowed me to connect to that part of the island and how perhaps it was drawing both of us there. And there is a very mystical component to this island chain. And being there as an adult, being able to observe it from this objective perspective allowed me to see how far I had come since my upbringing. This is a part of the Leo medicine. We're coming off of Cancer. There's a sense of inner child healing. My inner child felt so happy that I was there with my partner. As a gay man growing up in the South, it was not necessarily something that I even could conceptualize that I would be coming here as an adult with my partner and also there with someone that I deeply respect and look up to and has walked side by side with me in relationship to my offering as a mystic, as a tarot reader, as an astrologer. And so all of this came through with a lot of sense of pride. It was a full circle moment where I was able to see how everything fit together. This is all part of Leo, right? The sun is the ruling planet for Leo. This sun energy is connecting us to the child that lives within while also connecting us to our radiance, our soul's purpose, the light that we're shining to the world, that which fills us with a sense of vitality, right? The sun card represents the self. It's one's way of being in the world. So it represents this harmonious expression of both our ego and our higher self, both our inner child and our adult-like self. So the child, it's representing this pure essence. It's connecting us to creativity, inner child healing. The sun represents responsibility, power, giving unconditionally. So when Leo and when all of us during Leo season are operating from our soul-centered self, we become both like the child and the father's son, giving its light unconditionally. And so oftentimes Leo gets kind of typecast as this like center stage, making it all about themselves, but it's not. The sun is here to give. So this is an unconditional offering to the world. And this is also what the Aquarius Full Moon is asking of us. And so we have Sun in Leo, Moon in Aquarius. And if you've been listening to the show this past year, you know we've been working on the Queen of the Zodiac project. So that means we have Sun in Viola Davis.
I became an artist, and thank God I did, because we are the only profession that celebrates what it means to live a life.
And Moon and Oprah Winfrey.
I expanded my view of what it means to be a citizen of the universe, to be a part of the energy field that is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, and all-present in all things.
So we're going to touch base with both of these incredible women, our Queen of Leo, Viola Davis, and Queen of Aquarius, Oprah Winfrey. We'll look at both of their birth charts today. We're going to look at all of the tarot cards that we have associated with Leo and Aquarius so that we can feel into the invitation of this cosmic dance between these two bold, brave-hearted, socially progressive signs. So yeah, we started talking about the Sun card, which is the ruling planet for Leo. And then we can get out the Fool, which is the ruling planet for Aquarius, which is Uranus. And so here on this Aquarius full moon, this could start to act as a meditation for us when we look at these two together. What is the Fool saying to the Sun? For one, when we look at the Fool card, the Fool has a very sunshiny energy to it. So it's cool when we look at the polar signs. Aquarius and Leo have a lot in common. And I know for me as an Aquarius, I often get guessed that I'm a Leo. I always find this to be quite interesting since it's supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to be the polar sign, but for some reason, people think I'm a Leo, and maybe it's because I have hair that I'm growing out. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know, like, even my partner, who's a Virgo, also has a very Pisces way about him. And so start to feel into your polar sign and see how you actually have a lot in common with this other part of yourself. And so we're thinking of Leo. Leo it rules over this. It's connected to the sun, which is a star. It is the center of our solar system. Aquarius is connected to things like astrology. It's connected to the stars in the sky. It's a very cosmic energy. So Aquarius is all of the other stars in the galaxy, which the sun is a star. And so when we're in this Aquarian energy for this full moon, it is saying, can we look to not just this present moment, not just that which we're shining a light to here, but how is this connecting us to our soul's purpose? How is this connecting us to our cosmic inheritance, to the expanse of our soul? And so we are here on this planet at this time, but we also have been here before. We've also been many other places in the galaxy. So it is literally expanding everything here in this Leo energy. So when the Fool walks into the sun energy, there's a sense of the Fool is coming. Packed in his bindle is all of the previous incarnations, is all of the cosmic gifts, the secrets of the universe. The Fool is so on the pulse of evolution that is able to just fearlessly step off the side of a cliff into the unknown. And so at this time, all of us have this wonderful opportunity to be making strides of expansion. A lot of us are taking leaps of faith at this time, starting completely new chapters. I know the people in my life are all just stepping off the side of a cliff right now into the grand unknown. So how are you doing it? One, that is in alignment with your passion, your desires, your radiant self, your inner child that lives within. How are you doing it from this place? While also, how are you doing it from this very cosmic place of deeper knowings with a greater universe? And so this is taking us to our next set of cards. So strength is the soul growth card for Leo. We see a woman wearing all white, petting a lion, taming a lion, we could say. So strength shows itself to us in times where we're being really asked to tune into our desires, to tune into that which is longing to be expressed and felt and heard with a sense of compassion. When strength shows up for us and when we're meditating on it as a soul growth card of Leo, it reminds us to be very gentle with our emotions, to be very loving with our desires. And so when we fully listen to our calling, especially what is it that you're feeling right now? What is it that you desire? And we can really listen to that and sit with the desires instead of acting from a place of urgency. We allow space. We create space for our intuition to emerge. So strength right now, the light that we're shining to the world, this is encouraging us to answer the roar of our inner lion with a brave heart. It is not so much about just expressing your truth, but sitting with your truth, feeling your truth, and allowing it to well up from the sacral chakra. Right? Strength is a very sacral chakra energy, allowing it to well up from the sacral chakra and to bring it up to your heart. So that which you feel, that which you desire, you become a living embodiment of, and you can open up the chest like a proud lion and shine it out to the world. So if you are making a big shift at this time, which you probably are, how are you allowing yourself to be a full embodiment of that desire for that expansion? So instead of actually connecting to that which you visualize for the future, because Aquarius is wanting us to have this objective perspective, instead of coming into these details of how you imagine it will look, What does it feel like? So if you're making a huge expansion in your career and your location, maybe you're moving to a new place, maybe you are coming into this new creative expression, whatever it is that is this new chapter for you, what is the desire? Can you connect to that desire? What is it that you want to feel like? What would it feel like for you to be front and center on stage in this new offering that you have? Connect to that desire and breathe it in. And so when we look at strength, this woman in all white represents the purity of consciousness. So the infinity symbol, it's a halo right above her head, represents a super consciousness. It's this connection to spirit. So Leo learns, and all of us during Leo season learn through this spiritual connection of listening to our desires, listening to the desires, becoming an embodiment of them, and connecting them to a higher purpose. And this is also allowing us to connect to the star card, which is the soul growth card for Aquarius. So this is interesting. What would it be like now, since we're here in this Leo energy, to then take this woman petting the lion and invite her into the realm of the star? So the star card is traditionally, it shows a woman completely in the nude. And she's right there at a pond, and she's pouring water into a pond, and there's ripples. And then she has another jug of water that she's pouring to the land. The stars are out, and so you can imagine this intergalactic scene. There's no one else there. It's peaceful and serene, but there is a tree of wisdom off in the distance that has a bird there that's singing a song. And so what I like to think of with this bird on this tree is that you probably know, and I heard it this morning when I woke up before the sun, just before the sun, you'll hear the birds outside singing a little tune. This is when the birds start to wake up, right? And so this bird comes to represent this messenger of divine, but is also connecting us to those wee hours of twilight just before the sun is about to rise. And so this star card is really connecting us to the hope of a new dawn, which we'll hear Oprah Winfrey, Queen of Aquarius, talk about in a moment. I'm going to play a clip of her talking about this new dawn that's on the horizon. And even the way that she speaks it is giving us her evolving through Leo with this bold-hearted expression of the lion that is still here as a baptized of humanity. This is the star. So when the strength energy, this deep well, this deep guttural primal desire that you so want to feel in your body, when you can step into this realm of the star, it's not only becoming an embodiment for you, but it's becoming a wish for the future of humanity. So that this becomes your everything, your offering, your gift to humanity. That just by being this vibrant, living expression of your highest self, your highest calling, all of the desires that you want to fulfill in this lifetime creates a ripple effect of healing in the lives of those around you and beyond. And so by being your most vibrant, expressive self, you also help other people to step into their power to do the same. And so there is no shame. Shame is the lower form of Leo. There is no shame in being the most beautiful, bold expression of your heart's desire here in this lifetime. So any shame that you have around being seen, we're releasing that on this full moon. Because it's not about you. The desires that you're so fulfilling, these giant leaps of faith that you're creating in your life, are not just so that you can be seen and so that you can have your heart's desire fulfilled. And we got a little amen going off in the distance right now with these car horns honking. I don't know if you could hear them, but that's what it sounded like to me. It's so that you can then be an expression of your cosmic inheritance to the greater world around us. And so the star card, we see this woman who is in this prayer of peace. Aquarius in its highest, this is the soul growth card, is this soothing energy that is cleansing others with their birthrights, cleansing others with their cosmic inheritance. And so Aquarius full moon is reminding you of where you came from. You are an intergalactic being that has incarnated here on this planet, and you have a right to express your truth in whatever bold-hearted way you so desire. And so we can get the King of Swords out now, Aquarius, fixed air, and the King of Wands, fixed fire. So when we look at the King of Wands next to the King of Swords, we do see some differences here. And so I'm looking at Pamela Coleman Smith's depiction of this, which, by the way, just came to me. This is amazing. Pixie, her nickname, Pamela Coleman Smith, is the illustrator of the Rider-Waite Tarot. Many people will call it the Pamela Coleman Smith Centennial version, which is the one that I'm using, which was the 100-year anniversary deck. Pamela Coleman Smith is an Aquarius sun with a Leo moon, baby. She is this polarity in reverse. And so Pamela Coleman Smith is in this Aquarius Leo energy. That's cool for us to know that when we are looking at this and thinking of her heart's expression was also there for humanity, is creating ripple effects. And that's the thing with Aquarius, is that you may not even be aware of how you are creating ripples. Pamela Coleman Smith was never alive to see how far and wide her deck has reached humanity. This has become the most viewed tarot deck in the history of our planet, and she didn't live to see those days. And so know that what you're doing today to express your truth authentically, you may not see those results tangibly right now, and that's okay. So if it is something with living yourself in a queer and radical way, Aquarius, bold-heartedly, Lion, Leo, right? You may not necessarily reap the rewards of those benefits, but trust and believe that it is creating a ripple effect through humanity. So Aquarius is the nervous system. Leo is the heart. And so breathing into the heart, breathing into the nervous system is going to connect you to this energy. Leo is also the spine. So we can think of the spine and the nervous system and how they are connected with one another. So when we look at the King of Wands, Wands tells the story of adventure, right? Wands tells the story of ambition, of travel, creativity, purpose. It's very vital. It's very energetic. And so when it's matched with a masterful vibration of the king, this grounds the fiery nature of the wand suit into actualization. Fixed fire. The fixed signs are grounded in their suit. There's a sense of authority. So we could say Viola Davis is an authority when it comes to creative expression, and to be sure she is the first woman of color to have the triple crown of acting, which is an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a Grammy. Not a Grammy. I don't know. She won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and an Oscar. There you go. And so the King of Wands basks in the sun, is out in the desert, and is basking in the sun of his own will. The King of Wands is so sure of his purpose, his ideals, his values, that he seizes the moment, right? He's on the edge of his seat, and he's offering this active approach to structure and order. He's sitting very erect on the edge of his throne. He's present. He's awake. He's looking out at the vast horizon. And he's ready to claim creative endeavors that are in alignment with the greater vision. Fixed signs have a greater vision to them. And then we see the little lizard there, a symbol of transformation, right? But when we look at the King of Swords, we have a shift in energy here. The King of Wands, we see a profile of. The King of Swords is looking straight at us. The King of Swords is very stoic. There is clouds in the sky. There's two birds, and he is also sitting erect, but is not on the edge of his seat, is sitting back. So swords tell the story of universal truth, of mental activity, of logic and reason. And when matched with the masterful vibration of the king, this grounds the airy nature of the sword suit into actualization. So the King of Swords is sitting there in his truth, knowing his own way to articulate that which will unite, bring justice, bring equality, bring fairness to all that are involved. And so the King of Swords, when it has a conversation with the King of Wands, is saying, King of Wands, are you in alignment with the truth for the greater good? Are you able to communicate that which you're creatively expressing? The leaps and the bounds that you're creating right now, can you take a moment to pause and zoom out and get a bird's eye view of that which is happening? And so this is not a time for us to be emotionally reactive, but rather to be cool and calm like the King of Swords, or to be cool and calm like the fixed air, the middle of winter. Aquarius is the dead middle of winter. Leo is the right smack dab in the heat of summer. And so right now, we're being asked to be a little bit more detached and removed from our own personal story to see and witness the story of the collective and how we fit into that story. So at this time, let's allow all that to integrate. We'll transition now into a little meditation for embodied health. Here on Cosmic Cousins, we always carve out some space to bring our awareness to our body and to our breath. This allows us to take all of the cosmic information that we receive from the cosmos and to bring it down into the body so that we can be here now on this planet. And so acknowledging the stars in the sky, Aquarius, acknowledging the sun, the center of our solar system, Leo. We'll take all of that and bring it down into the body. And so a deep nourishing inhale into the heart of the lion. This is the part of the body that Leo rules over. And just tuning into the heart, maybe you place your hands here. And then roll the shoulders up towards the ear and down the back. Bring the shoulder blades together so that you can create an opening through the heart. And then you can bring your hands down by your side. So a deep breath into the heart. And now we'll bring our awareness to the nervous system. Aquarius is connected to the nervous system. So breathing into the entirety of the body, connecting to the nerves. It's like the internet, right? Running through our body, sending information. Aquarius rules over the internet. Breathing into the heart, breathing into the nervous system. The full moon offers us a time to first release anything that's not supporting us. So releasing low vibe Leo tendencies of being center of attention could be one of those things. Needing to be seen, needing to have the drama. But also releasing shame around being seen. So can you connect to any part of yourself that feels shameful? Then can you just hold space for it, listen to it? And maybe you find the root of that cause. Maybe it's something from your childhood. Leo's connecting us to childlike energy. And so in the same way that you would talk to a child, can you nurture your inner child and say, I love you? Maybe you replace those words of shameful condemnation with something that is uplifting and positive and heartfelt. I know for me, and for many of you, you might have experienced this, but I have spent a lot of time with children over Leo season. I went on a road trip up to Oakland and spent time with an 8-year-old in the backseat of the car. And she knew exactly how to take a road trip. She had all of her stuffed animals, all of her coloring supplies. And so can you connect to this little you that is longing to be cuddled up with stuffed animals and to be creatively expressing yourself without a need for it to be seen? Children are just this pure expression of creativity and life. And so there is an innocence here when we're working with Leo. So connect to the part of yourself that longs to express the wondrous beauty of being here on this planet without the need for it to be celebrated, and just connect to that authentic desire. And tell yourself now that you have a right to express yourself, breathing it into the heart. But here on the full moon, it's not just so much about release as it is about shining a light to the subconscious realms, the moon in Aquarius. The full moon is activated right now, and so this is a great time to put all your crystals out to charge them up. But you can also think that you're getting charged up at this time. And so we're charging up with the energy of Aquarius. And so breathing into the nervous system, also breathing into the ankles and the Achilles tendon. These are also connected to Aquarius. And when we think of the ankles and the Achilles tendon, these are very sensitive parts of the body, but they also hold the entire weight of the body. Aquarius low form is holding the weight of humanity, is holding the weight of other people. And so we're releasing any of those low vibration Aquarius attributes. And so low vibe Aquarius likes to make sure that everyone is being taken care of. I know for me as a double Aquarius, I can find my energy getting really leaked and drained when I try to be all things to all people. And I experienced a little bit of that on my vacation because I had a lot of different people I needed to spend time with and connect with, and I just couldn't get it all in. And I really just needed to be there to relax anyway. And so if you find yourself overwhelmed by your circle of friends or the people in your community or even larger humanity at large, we're moving through a lot of intense energy right now with this Capricorn South node. Everything that's going on in the government, with gun control, with humanity at large, with the environment, all of that. Aquarius full moon could bring up a lot of those feelings. And so we're releasing the need to be all things to all people, and knowing that your creative expression, whatever it is that you're bringing to the world, is enough. You are enough just the way that you are right now. And so we're going to breathe that into the heart, and we're going to breathe it into the nervous system, into the ankles, the Achilles tendon. I am enough. Just the way I am, right here in this very moment, I am enough. I am connected to my greater knowings, to my cosmic truths, and I am doing the best that I can today to show up fully in myself, to be a living embodiment of the future that I so feel in my heart, that I so feel in my nervous system, a future that is in alignment with the expansion of all of us here on this planet, so that everyone on this planet may be gifted the right to express themselves and may be gifted with the resources, clean water, food, shelter, to support that. Aquarius rules over things like hopes for the future, dreams and wishes for the future. And so right now, let's say a little wish for the future of humanity. And wish it upon a star. And then draw that energy from that star to the star that is the center of our solar system, the sun. And imagine that that light is shining on all of humanity unconditionally. Boom, boom, boom. Happy Aquarius Full Moon. Happy Heart of Leo season. Thanks for being here as always, Cosmic Cousins. It's such an honor to hold space for you in this very radical cosmic way. This Aquarius Full Moon is making me really reflect on all of you, each and every single one of you, all of you that I have connected with over the last 2 years. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of this podcast. Can you believe? So I'm literally so grateful and just beaming with love for all of you that I've connected with, giving you a reading. If I've given you a reading, thank you for carving out that time in your life. If you've been on the Cosmic Cousins journey or the Brooklyn Fools journey, thank you for showing up for yourself and for being here. I know that I don't get to talk to you all every single day, but you're all in my heart, and this Aquarius Full Moon is reminding us to connect with everyone in our community. So I'd also like to just send a ripple effect of healing and gratitude to each and every single one of you listening to this show right now. We are all connected in ways that we may not even know. And so Aquarius ruling over things like internet and social media, I know that, we really connect there, and it's been really beautiful. It's brought a lot of us together, but it may at times feel like we're alone out here in this universe. Aquarius is the alien of the zodiac, right? It's orbiting. There's a sense of longing to connect with humanity, but also feeling separate from humanity. And so remind us that we're not alone and that we are together. And so reach out to those that you love. We've got this Venus star point happening here. And so those tarot cards that we talked about, we can now bring in the Empress. And so imagine that the Empress is visiting with the King of Wands, the King of Swords, and all of these other archetypes. There is a sense of safety that comes through this connection to nature and the divine feminine that Venus is inviting us into. So this is a time to really be soft in your approach, to reach out to those that you love, to spend time connecting to your 5 senses. This Venus energy coming in here is quite nice, and it's reminding us that the work that we're doing right now, these leaps of faith that we're taking, these expansions that we're feeling both in our heart and in the collective, is really an invitation for us to accept it and to invite it in. Venus is wanting us to not just give, but also to receive. And so if money is a concern for you right now, open yourself up to receiving money for your creative gifts that you're boldly sharing with the world. Venus is also inviting us to receive love. And so if you're in a relationship or you're wanting to be in a relationship, now is a wonderful time to also remind yourself that if I am an expression of my most authentic self, while also giving that to a world in need, to humanity, that you will also receive love in whatever form that may come to you. And so the Empress Venus is reminding us of all of that. And it's beautiful because Oprah Winfrey, our Queen of Aquarius, was born during a Venus star point. She has Sun and Venus in Aquarius at the same degree. And so we'll look at that in just a moment. Before we transition into honoring Viola Davis and Oprah Winfrey, I'd like to make a few announcements. So my name is Jeff. I am an astrologer. I offer astrology readings. They're 90-minute MP3 recordings. You also have the option to connect with me on the phone if you would prefer to do that. And you can find out that information at astrologycousins.com. I would love to sit down with you and look at your birth chart. It is a cosmic blueprint for empowering your life. This is a wonderful time to be doing this with this Leo-Aquarius polarity. I also am going to be leading a 12-week astrology journey this fall, October through December. So if you're looking to deepen in your studies, I'll be posting about that in the coming weeks as we go into Virgo season. We got some Virgo energy coming up. Mars enters Virgo on August 17th, which is this Saturday. And so I know for me, I'm really giving myself permission for this rest of the week through Friday to just be in this Leo energy. We're still in Leo for another week. The sun goes into Virgo next Friday, August 23rd. But we'll start to feel these shifts in a Virgo way on this Saturday, and then next Wednesday, Venus enters Virgo. And so Virgo, I'm excited. We'll get into all of that on the Virgo episode, which will be at the end of this month, the new moon in Virgo. It's a really wonderful time to reconnect with our spiritual practices, to reconnect with our body, our mind, and our spirit in a very reverent, holy way. We'll be transitioning from Viola Davis to Beyonce, Queen of Virgo. So we'll get into all of that. But just know that soak up all of this Leo energy this week, because then we'll be shifting gears into the harvest mode, into the end of summer mode, to the back to school mode. And so these announcements that I'm making are very back to school. So if you're wanting to deepen your studies with me, sign up for my newsletter. There's a link in the show notes that will remind you of everything that I'm talking about right now. And yeah, that's my announcements for this week. There's also a Patreon for the show, patreon.com/Cosmic Cousins. If you listen to this show regularly and you'd like to make a monthly contribution to the show, that would be wonderful. This is a free offering from my heart to yours, and whatever money that you can give goes a long way to the conceptualization of this show. And so patreon.com/Cosmic Cousins. There is a link in the show notes. And then I have one final announcement, and this one is much more fun and is very Leo season appropriate. One of my dear friends and comedian, Lucy Cottrell, has launched a fundraising project for a new comedy short film called Adventure Date, which is about a Tinder date gone terribly wrong. And so in an attempt to help her raise money for this project, we're hosting a raffle. And so if you donate $10 to her film, you will get a raffle ticket. If you donate $15, you'll get 2 raffle tickets with a chance to win a 90-minute astrology reading with me. So if you've been wanting a reading with me, this could be a really cool chance to get it at a crazy affordable rate. And you'll also be contributing to a creative in our community who is really talented and really fucking funny. So here is a funny clip of Lucy pretend interviewing Bjork about this up-and-coming horror comedy film, Adventure Date.
They're not gonna believe this, but I'm here in my apartment with my absolute favorite artist, Bjork, to talk about my movie, Adventure Date.
I took all the things in your apartment and I threw them out the window.
Honestly, I love you and you can do whatever you want with my stuff.
I took your tax returns and I cut them up like small birds.
I was gonna talk to my accountant anyway, so it's really no big deal. But I am so excited about my upcoming movie, Adventure Date. It's a horror comedy short film. We just launched the fundraising campaign on Seed and Spark.
I produced a film once and it lives in a mountain.
Oh wow, the film was alive?
I unraveled it like a ball of yarn.
Oh, actually my movie Adventure Date's about quilting and sewing. Find out more by following the link in my bio. Yeah.
I had a song called Seed and Spark and it was all about a website you could click on inside of a bio.
This is perfect. I know Bjork is a triple Scorpio, but she gives us some mad Aquarius vibes, having that Uranus conjunct Pluto on her midheaven. Okay, our runner-up for Queen of Scorpio. So Lucy has this incredible project coming out, Adventure Date. I'll have a link in the show notes to it. Again, if you donate $10 to her film, you'll get one raffle ticket. If you donate $15, you'll get two raffle tickets with a chance to win a 90-minute astrology reading with me. There's a link in the show notes to that. Hit it up. Lucy is just so you know a little bit more about Lucy Cottrell and her astrology. Lucy is a Taurus sun with a Leo moon and a Leo rising. This makes her inner Dorothy. Personal myth, a sensual little girl, Taurus sun, front and center on stage, Leo moon, entertaining us all with her warmth, Leo rising. And to be sure, that's exactly what she does through her life and her work and offerings. And it's really cool to see someone fiercely living out their truth. She's definitely given us that humor side of Leo, and I can't wait to see the film. I'm also going to end out this little segment on Lucy with a clip of her. I think it's appropriate because last week on the show, 2 weeks ago, we looked at Marianne Williamson's birth chart, and so this is Lucy Cottrell doing Marianne Williamson's policy plan.
Foreign policy is a feeling you get in your belly. I'm not afraid to call New Zealand and tell them to stop eating gluten. The gut is very important. Well, I'm gonna be honest here. I once remembered a whole birthday party while I was in pigeon pose. I started weeping. A John Mayer song started playing. It was terrible. Synchronicity. What I'm trying to say is when I get into the Oval Office for the first time, I'm gonna build a very large bear. Build-A-Bear. What America needs now is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is the only way to combat corporate greed. My vice president will be an owl from the Harry Potter universe. Jessica Biel is my spirit animal. I'm majority Gryffindor with strong Hufflepuff Mickey Mouse rising. I'll say it, no one in this country is talking about Saturn returns. I use my Diva Cup as a portal to talk to spirits both good and bad. Ari Aster's sophomore film Midsommar is based on my family. I love rectangles. They're good for your femur bone.
Lucy Cottrell, check out her work with a chance to get a reading with me. Thank you, Lucy, for making us laugh. And so this time we can transition into the last part of the show where we're going to honor Queen of Leo, Viola Davis, Queen of Aquarius, Oprah Winfrey, and we'll talk about this sacred polarity. Okay, so we have polar queens. Queen of Leo, Viola Davis. Queen of Aquarius, Oprah Winfrey. What I've really noticed when doing this Queen of the Zodiac project over the last year is that our polar queens hold a great deal in common, and their appearance is often even very similar. Like right now, I'm looking at this photo of Viola Davis just beaming, holding a trophy. She's wearing red. And then there's Oprah Winfrey, who's also holding an award and is also beaming. There is something very similar in these polar queens, and we'll feel that. We'll continue to explore that as we go through the wheel of this next year. But polar queens and also polar signs hold a similar soul's purpose. Both Viola Davis and Oprah Winfrey are known for giving incredible acceptance speeches. That's one thing that speak to the collective. And so here we have this like receiving an award on stage, right? Front and center on stage, Leo, but also then communicating universal truths, Aquarius, that speak to the collective when doing it. So we'll start with Viola Davis, Queen of Leo. Leo evolves through Aquarius, right? So Viola Davis, she's known for this deep, guttural, primal expression and very heartfelt, heart-sizzling performances. She acts on stages and in movies and TV shows. But more than just that, more than just connecting us to these themes of Leo being front and center on stage, she evolves through Aquarius. She uses her platform to uplift the collective in a socially progressive way. She has a way of communicating not only about her own truth or the truth of others that she is acting, but speaks to everyone else. So let's listen to a clip of one of her acceptance speeches in which she then uses her very sun-like energy to shine a light to the collective.
In my mind, I see a line. And over that line, I see green fields and lovely flowers and beautiful white women with their arms stretched out to me over that line, but I can't seem to get there no how. I can't seem to get over that line. That was Harriet Tubman in the 1800s. And let me tell you something. The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity. You cannot win an Emmy for roles that are simply not there. So here's to all the writers, the awesome people that are Ben Sherwood, Paul Lee, Peter Nowak, Shonda Rhimes, people who have redefined what it means to be beautiful, to be sexy, to be a leading woman, to be black. And to the Taraji P. Hensons, the Kerry Washingtons, the Halle Berrys, the Nicole Beharies, the Megan Goods, to Gabrielle Union, thank you for taking us over that line. Thank you for the Television Academy. Thank you.
The socially progressive perception of the new age. This is Aquarius. This is actually quite profound to witness how Viola Davis embodies Leo, but is also evolving through Aquarius by advocating for diversity, by shining a light to others in her community, in the collective, who are also fiercely shining their light. So it's not just about her being the sun on the center stage, it's also about all the other stars in the audience and in the galaxies, right? Leo evolving through Aquarius. Viola Davis has also chosen roles that highlight marginalized folk, everyday heroes not normally given the spotlight. She's also redefined beauty. She's come into her own authentic expression of who she is in a very bold way. And so I'd like to play a clip of her now explaining why she chose to stray away from wearing wigs and just using her natural hair. So let's listen to a clip of her talking about that now.
I took off my hair, I took off my wig because I wanted to step into who I was. And I felt like, and listen, I love wigs. I do. I still will wear a wig every once in a while. But for me, what I felt like was every time I put on a wig that I was apologizing for who I was. Being a dark-skinned woman, of very curly hair, I felt like I was hiding it. And I felt like I was saying that, okay, my characters aren't very glamorous, but look at me, you know, see me, aren't I pretty? And I felt like I didn't want to do that anymore. And I felt that like the Oscars was a perfect time to do that, so I stepped into who I was.
Boom, right there, stepping into who you are in this very bold and fearless way. This is a soul-centered attribute of Leo, to be sure. Viola Davis is such an incredible high vibe expression of Leo, and I'm so happy that we crowned her Queen of Leo. And yeah, so Viola Davis, she is a passionate little girl, Leo's sun, under the starry night sky, Aquarius moon, delivering messages from beyond, Gemini North Node. That's exactly what she's done through her life and work. So when we look at her birth chart, I'll pull that up now. Okay, so when I first look at Viola Davis's birth chart, it feels very clean to me. And I'm not saying that other people don't have clean charts, but when I look at it, it just feels like everything is like right in this spot where it is in a nice flow. So first things first, she has got Sun and Mercury and Leo. So she shines a vibrant, healing light in a very bold, heart-centered way and is able to communicate about it in a very clear way. But she's got Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury retrograde babies are some of our greatest writers and communicators. They take time to really re-examine what it is that they're about to share. So this placement makes me think that Viola Davis really takes some time. And I would imagine that even though Leo is about this like very intuitive way of expressing the self, I imagine that she probably sat down and wrote that speech and then in the moment really allowed herself to step up in a very present way. She has also got, so her moon is in Aquarius. All of our fire queens, you might remember, have their polar sign moon. Maya Angelou has moon in Libra, our queen of Aries, and then Tina Turner, queen of Sag, has a moon in Gemini. But Viola Davis has black moon Lilith next to her moon, which means that she is not only intuitively connected to the pulse of the group mind, Aquarius, she's also intuitively connected to the pulse of the group mind of the repressed aspects of the divine feminine. And you'll hear in her speech and many of her other speeches and works that she is directly communicating to the collective in a way that is freeing us from the chains of repression of our patriarchal society. She's got North Node in Gemini. We don't know her rising sign. We don't have her birth time, but North Node in Gemini is an indicator of what she's waking up to and the direction of her life's purpose. This means that she's directing her life's purpose through the power of her word, through the way that she communicates duality. And she's got Jupiter in Gemini right there too. And so she's doing it in a very expressive, big, generous way, right? Jupiter is the planet of expansion and faith. And so she's communicating about duality in an uplifting, faithful way, which is quite nice. She's got her Mars in Libra, which means she's directing her ambition towards social equality and gender equality. She's got her Neptune in Scorpio, which means that her spiritual connection goes into the depth of human emotion. And then she's got a stellium in Virgo. She's got Uranus, Pluto, and Venus in Virgo, which she's part of that Pluto and Virgo generation. This is a generation who have really helped to transform through their devotion to their craft and their work. And she does it in a very innovative way that is connected to the divine feminine. And all of this is in opposition to her Saturn and Pisces. Saturn is the planet of commitment. So she's committed to universal compassion while working as a soul's offering for deep psychological healing and transformation that's innovative. But of course, we'll bring it back to the Leo sun because she is the queen of Leo. She has a way of building camaraderie within her community that is redefining beauty, highlighting marginalized people, giving other people the chance to be in the spotlight in a bold, fearless, radiant way. And so, deep bow to our queen of Leo, Viola Davis. And so now we get to honor our polar queen, queen of Aquarius, Oprah Winfrey. And so Oprah Winfrey is the inverse of Viola Davis. Instead of heart-sizzling performances, we know and love Oprah to be front and center on stage in a way that is bringing people together. She highlights the gifts of the collective, right? And she's interviewed our planet's most legendary of people. In fact, Oprah Winfrey has interviewed almost every single one of our Queen of the Zodiacs. She has interviewed every single one of our queens except for our water queens. This is really quite an aha moment for me. The only queens Oprah hasn't interviewed in our Zodiac pantheon are the water queens, Frida Kahlo, Georgia O'Keeffe, and Nina Simone. All of these women, our water queens, are dearly departed, so that could also partly be because of that, the time period. But the fact that our water queens are all dearly departed is connecting us to water's ability to hold on to the past, hold on to memory, to reflect. Georgia O'Keeffe and Frida are both painters, and Nina Simone is a singer. And Oprah actually doesn't interview painters as often, right? So this is air is connecting us to the signs that come before. It goes fire, earth, air, and then water always follows air. So I've thought that was interesting to notice that pattern that's happened. So yeah, Oprah, she's interviewed some of our planet's most legendary of people. She chooses topics and figures who are socially progressive, who are ushering in the new paradigm, Aquarius, the new age, like Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, Eckhart Tolle, right? Oprah's been called the mother of the New Age movement, our New Age thought, because of her highlighting people like this. She's also encourages people who wouldn't normally speak up about their spiritual journey to open up and share about their path towards cosmic consciousness. And Oprah is always dropping truth bombs that are expanding the horizons of our cosmic understanding of our place in the universe. So while the moon is in Aquarius, it's nice to connect to this part of Oprah and her offering. So let's listen to a clip so we can feel into her Aquarian ways.
As I grew, my perception and understanding of what God means grew with me. I expanded my view of what it means to be a citizen of the universe, to be a part of the energy field that is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, and all-present in all things. And so my confidence comes from knowing that there is something greater than myself, that I am a part of and is also a part of me. I call that God, but I do nothing without that understanding.
My confidence comes from the understanding that there's something greater than me. Confidence, Leo, something greater than me, cosmic, universal, Aquarius, right? And so we already are feeling into how Oprah's evolving through Leo as an Aquarius. And I want to play this other clip now of her also, just like Viola Davis, receiving an award and then giving an acceptance speech that is then shining a light to the collective. And in the same way, Viola Davis highlighted Harriet Tubman, Oprah highlights Rosa Parks. So both of these women are highlighting these very radical women who were ushering in the new paradigm, who were ushering in the new dawn. You'll also hear Oprah talk about the new dawn here in this clip too. So I'll play a clip of that now.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have. And I'm especially proud and inspired by all the women who have felt strong enough and empowered enough to speak up and share their personal stories. Each of us in this room are celebrated because of the stories that we tell. And this year, we became the story. But it's not just a story affecting the entertainment industry. It's one that transcends any culture, geography, race, religion, politics, or workplace. So I want tonight to express gratitude to all the women who have endured years of abuse and assault because they, like my mother, had children to feed and bills to pay and dreams to pursue. They're the women whose names we'll never know. They are domestic workers and farm workers. They are working in factories and they work in restaurants and they're in academia and engineering and medicine and science. They're part of the world of tech and politics and business. There are athletes in the Olympics and there are soldiers in the military. And there's someone else, Reese Taylor. A name I know and I think you should know too. In 1944, Reese Taylor was a young wife and a mother. She was just walking home from a church service she'd attended in Abbeville, Alabama, when she was abducted by 6 armed white men, raped and left blindfolded by the side of the road, coming home from church. They threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone. But her story was reported to the NAACP, where a young worker by the name of Rosa Parks became the lead investigator on her case. And together, they sought justice. But justice wasn't an option in the era of Jim Crow. The men who tried to destroy her were never persecuted. Reese Taylor died 10 days ago, just shy of her 98th birthday. She lived, as we all have lived, too many years in a culture broken by brutally powerful men. For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. but their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. And I just hope that Reese Taylor died knowing that her truth, like the truth of so many other women who were tormented in those years, and even now tormented, goes marching on. It was somewhere in Rosa Parks' heart almost 11 years later when she made the decision to stay seated on that bus in Montgomery. And it's here with every woman who chooses to say, "Me too." And every man who chooses to listen. In my career, what I've always tried my best to do, whether on television or through film, is to say something about how men and women really behave, to say how we experience shame, how we love and how we rage, how we fail, how we retreat, persevere, and how we overcome. And I've interviewed and portrayed people who've withstood some of the ugliest things life can throw at you, but the one quality all of them seem to share is an ability to maintain hope for a brighter morning, even during our darkest nights. So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon. And when that new day finally dawns, it will be because of a lot of magnificent women, many of whom are right here in this room tonight, and some pretty phenomenal men fighting hard to make sure that they become the leaders who take us to the time when nobody ever has to say, "Me too," again. Thank you.
Right there, boldly speaking your truth for the collective. This is Aquarius evolving through Leo. This is Leo evolving through Aquarius. The ability to maintain hope for a brighter morning, even during our darkest nights. And then saying a new day is on the horizon. This is all Aquarius right here, but Oprah's ability to express it in a way that she's in the center and that she is a bold, radiant expression of that. And also her highlighting of Reese Taylor and Rosa Parks. She's giving us this socially progressive perception of the new age of Aquarius and Leo. And so I'm pulling up Oprah's chart right now. Oprah is a starry-eyed little girl. I'm changing that adjective to starry-eyed. I thought it was a little bit more playful than innovative little girl. A starry-eyed little girl in a far-off land, Sagittarius moon, expanding the horizons of our world, Sagittarius rising. So Oprah's a double Sag. I think that's the first thing that we can talk about. It's interesting to be Queen of Aquarius, but then have double Sag. So this double Sag energy is cool because it's connecting us to the esoteric ruling planet for Aquarius, which is Jupiter, the planet of faith and expansion. So traditionally, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and then it got upgraded to Uranus, and then esoteric Alice Bailey talks about Jupiter being the ruling planet, which makes Aquarius not so rebellious and innovative, but rather expansive, generous, and faithful, giving their water generously, their offering generously through the power of their word to the collective. We also said that Oprah's got the Venus star point, so Sun and Venus are both conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. This gives her an Empress energy to her Aquarian ways, which Empress in an Aquarian way is Queen of Aquarius right there. And Oprah's also got Mercury in Aquarius too, meaning that she is able to shine a light through the power of her words in a way that is progressive, going towards the future and radical. Oprah's also got a North Node in Capricorn, which means her life's purpose is to build a future we can depend on. And to be sure we feel that. I know sometimes people say, I don't know, Oprah feels kind of Capricorn to me, which Michelle Obama's our Queen of Capricorn. We can feel how Aquarius is coming right off of Capricorn. But to be sure, it's through the air element, the power of words, that Oprah's offerings are coming through. It's not through the earth element of practicality and structure and order as much, right? Which would be more Michelle Obama. Also, her double Sag nature, she is a teacher, she is a philosopher. Then she's got Moon in Scorpio. Wow. So this is like her ambition to have, she has Mars in Scorpio. To have Mars in Scorpio, this gives an intensity to one's drive, the ability to really go towards what you want. You can think of Scorpio like the eagle here, to see what you want and to go after it. I feel that with Mars in Scorpio very much, and to be motivated from this like place of deep transformation. And we've also seen a lot of transformation throughout Oprah's career. On her midheaven, she has Neptune and Black Moon, Lilith in Libra. To have a Libra midheaven, her role in the public sphere is connected to social equality and also interviewing people. We can think Libra's one-on-one interaction. Neptune brings in the spiritual component. I think of Neptune as like a spiritual guru in your chart. And so to have Neptune at the top of her chart next to Black Moon Lilith, this means she's a spiritual guru for the repressed aspects of the divine feminine, or the repressed aspects of the feminine, for her career in a social activist one-on-one sort of way. She's also a Pluto and Leo. She's part of the Pluto and Leo generation, which is the majority of our zodiac queens are Pluto and Libra, and this is a generation of bold leaders. And then she's got Uranus in Cancer. I'm kind of going like backwards in the wheel, which is kind of funny. She's got Uranus in Cancer. So Uranus is our innovation, and it's the ruling planet for Aquarius. We also said Jupiter is the esoteric ruling planet, so we're going to look at Uranus and Jupiter. But Uranus in Cancer is innovation in the home, innovation in technology and information for mothers, which is really touching to me, because I think of always having the Oprah Winfrey show on in the living room, and my mom would be like making dinner or doing the bills or like watching it with me. And so Uranus in Cancer is really bringing this innovation in the home and to mothers and to families. And then she's got Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter, right? Expansion, faith, optimism, hope for the future. In Gemini, this is the same as Viola Davis, the ability to communicate duality in a way that is hopeful, expressive. And so this makes for a great communicator, having this Jupiter and Gemini placement. And it is trine her Sun and Venus. And then also it's trine her Libra North Node. So Oprah's got this air grand trine in her chart. Sun, trine midheaven, trine Jupiter, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So to be sure, she is an incredible communicator, and no one else was meant to be Queen of Aquarius, because we are in the age of Oprah right now. So thank you, Oprah. She is a starry-eyed little girl, Aquarius sun, in a far-off land, Sagittarius moon, expanding the horizons of our mind and our world, Sagittarius rising, building a future we can depend on, Capricorn North Node. And so on this full moon, we're gifted this cosmic dance with this brave-hearted, socially progressive polarity of Leo and Aquarius. And so you can feel into the Leo-Aquarius polarity with a playlist that I made. I'll leave a link in the show notes. So it's all artists and singers who have an Aquarius sun or Leo sun are on this playlist. So it's got Whitney Houston and Madonna, Leo energy. It's also got like Regina Spektor, Alicia Keys energy with Aquarius. So check out that playlist if you'd like to just like feel into it. For me, I like to put in my headphones and go on a long walk and listen to artists of the astrological signs or energies that we're moving through, and that helps me to tune into it a little bit more. And so, yeah, at this time, we're at the close of our episode, and so it's been, to close it out, I'll just share with you what people on the Instagram have said. So I put out the question, what are you sensing about our Leo-Aquarius polarity? What do you think the Leo-Aquarius, what do you sense about this polarity and what they are here to teach us? And so some of the things that we got daring and caring. We have fearless expression of humanity, generosity of spirit. We've got teaching us how to shine. Deep healing, unafraid of past darkness to work towards future. Outer fire versus inner fire. Through Leo's bravery, you can bring Aquarius's collective together. To be authentically yourself, a weird shining star. Expansion both in front of and for the collective. By celebrating ourselves, we can uplift others through example. Thank you as always for tuning into the show, Cosmic Cousins. If you're enjoying this show, you can leave 5-star review on iTunes. You can leave some comments and love. And I said that I'd start getting into this tradition where I pull up the comments. And so let me pull up the comments for the show right now and see what you all have been saying. And so this one was written in by Gray Spidery Foot, and it's titled Laugh, Cry, Learn. It says, I appreciate how thoughtful and sincere Hinshaw delivers the information he shares on the podcast. It's such a lovely blend of lighthearted fun, deep soul exploration, structured astrology, and tarot teachings. I think, I laugh, cry, and learn something new in each episode. Thank you. And thank you, Gray Spidery Foot. And thank you to all of you who are tuning into the show. I'm wishing you a happy Aquarius full moon. If you'd like some support during these transits, I offer astrology readings, astrologycousins.com. Also, check out Lucy Cottrell's work. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can also check her out on Instagram, Lucy Cottrell. I'll also put a link to that. And again, if you buy a raffle ticket for $10, or 2 raffle tickets for $15 to support her project, then you'll be put into a drawing, and we'll announce the winner of that later this week. So you have until Sunday to purchase those. Sunday, what's the date? Sunday, August 18th. Mars will have just entered Virgo. And so, yeah, enjoy the rest of your Leo season. Go get yourself a tan. Put your shades on. Spend some time outside. Play with your inner child. And I'll see you all for our Virgo New Moon episode, which will be at the end of August. Take sweet care, cousins. And remember, deep breaths.